But as the next speaker is the guy who actually usually talks the last, so we again shift some things around. So our own government CIO Taavi will come to sort of, try to share what could be the horizon and even what could be beyond the horizon when it comes to data-driven government. So here we go.
So, hello everybody. A talk from Estonia, as we do in Nordic Digital Day, that there will be talks from all Nordic countries, except Latvia, as always. So, two topics from Estonian side. I wanted to cover country as a service, a new innovation from Estonia, and the future prediction modeling. And I start from the last one. So we started a reform a couple of years ago, a radical reform that was connected with taxes. Estonia had a huge problem, as you know. If you invest heavily into IT, if you make everything simple, like opening a company with 15 or 18 minutes, it seems to be a great thing. But there's always a downside. And the downside in Estonia was that if it's so easy to open a company, it's also easy to start taking advantage of this system. And we saw enormous increase of VAT fraud in Estonia. So the tax cap, what we should get as a government or collect as a government, and the amount we actually got was huge. The gap was huge. So to start deal with that problem, we understood that we just can't fixing it with just adding like additional auditors or tax officers, because those tax officers we had, they were able only to control like less than 2% of all transactions. So if you want them to control more, even if you double those people, you will control, instead of 2%, you will control 4%. So it's still nothing. And we understood that we need to approach this problem in a totally different way. And we need to get more real data out from companies. So the problem that the governments have with economy is that you just see that you have different types of companies. You have small ones, you have larger ones. I have to thank Cybernetica for this slide and a couple of other slides to explain this. But you don't see the connections between the companies because you can't see the deals. And as you can't see the deals between companies, you can't say who is cheating and who is not. And to challenge that, we understood, like from engineers' point of view, that the only way to solve this tax cap problem is to force companies to start declaring their business-to-business deals to the government. Obviously, you can't demand that every deal is declared, so we set a limit. That if the deal goes 1,000 euro, then it has to be declared. So if I sell something to you, I declare that I sold to you, and you declare that you bought. And if that matches, the information matches, we know the deal actually happened. And if it doesn't match, we can go after one deal, so we can be very efficient with tax control. The system that we implemented in 2014, in the end of 2014, was extremely successful. So if you see these results, VAT is the second largest income for the government in Estonia. Second largest income. And if you are able to increase that second largest income, like 12%, it's a huge amount of money. And everybody's happy because the market is more fair and we have our tax cap reduced. But why it's also good, it actually opens up a totally new dimension how you can influence your economy. The problem of government, when you look at okay, there's an Estonian economy, is that you can't predict what's happening because you don't have data. Governments mostly work with very old data, okay, and trends. We can see that, okay, unemployment rate goes up and down. We can see that GDP goes this or that way. We can look at companies' yearly reports and see that, okay, 2015, not 16, 2015 was this or that way, good or bad year. But we know this information in the autumn of 2016. So governments always are 1 year behind, or they do with historical data. So they are not like companies. Companies get their data every day, and they do calculations at least on monthly basis, if not even faster. And according to the information, okay, sales goes up, sales goes down. Production goes up, production goes down. There are problems with production. We need to do something with production. I mean, you can be very active. You can act because you have data. So the question is, can we have similar thing with the government? I learned this slide from Finland. Hi, Finns. Yeah. So this is the share price of Nokia. And just remember, there was around 20+% of economy connected with that great company in Finland. And you actually had very good data how at least 1/5 of your economy is doing. Sadly, it went down, but you had that measurement. So the question is, could we have same kind of stuff on monthly basis or even on daily basis or weekly basis for the government? Is it possible at all? And it is. Because what we got as an outcome from VAT fraud reform, we got data. So basically we have all companies' data in Estonia or deals, what they do on monthly basis. So we know, obviously, in aggregated levels, that the food industry is going up or down, the forest industry going up or down, the chemical industry, what's their problems? If you combine this information, what we have about their cycles, we combine it with information what we have about employment. For example, if a person gets fired, what is the influence for the government? Okay, there is a family connected with that person. They're wife and 3 children. So we can basically even calculate what is the impact to the government, from the social benefits and then that point of view. So we can actually estimate what is the cost for the government if things don't go in the right way. Obviously, we have to do it in aggregated level, and obviously the picture is really mixed. This picture is actually representing Estonian IT systems, but it's good to represent the situation here also. So what we have in Estonia is that it's a full overview of our economy, and if you run future prediction models on top of this data, obviously combined, you can start doing those kind of prediction. This is an example. So we don't have that problem at the moment. But this is an example. So we can say that there's a 80% probability that there might be 3,000 jobs lost in East Estonia in chemical industry. And now we can start acting during the next 6 months. That's probably, once again, it's just an example. So, and now we can start acting. We can calculate, or the Department of Unemployment, they can start doing stuff. They can start think about it. They can start registering or start finding new job places. The local government can start acting. The government can start acting. I don't know. Reduce the electricity price. Play with taxes. So there are ways how this can be changed or actually influenced. But you can only do it if you have real data. So currently, for example, if oil price goes down and our chemical industry has a problem, it's mostly about emotions. Okay, we have thousands of workers, they might get fired, let's do something. It's emotions. But here we have real data. And that's the change. That's how governments can be, change the way how they run the country. I have always envied Singapore because somehow they have been able to run their country as a company, really keeping it close to the prime minister. I mean, having all this data, having all these smart people acting when there is need to be acted. That's perfect. So we try to do the same kind of thing here in Nordics, and how it's going to look like. I mean, it would be a perfect tool for local governments. So if you take the Estonian map, basically you can say that the ones who are in a green zone, they are doing okay. The ones who are in a red zone, they should do something about their own local government economy. So we can change the way how we support give the support money to economics, etc. This picture is blurry, but it's just an example how you could see that, okay, in your local government, your forest industry is doing great, your chemical industry is doing great, but your machinery is not doing so great. But on other local government just next to you, they lack of hands in machinery. So maybe it's good that your people might have another chance next local government. So that's the way how you can start changing the way how you govern your local economy. And that's because everything is connected, and if you have this information, how it's connected, you can act. So that was the future prediction modeling and the way how governments should start working. Another interesting stuff, what we are dealing with, is CaaS. You have heard different R's, like SaaS, like software as a service, and they're engineers, we like that. Now we have started to use a new term called country as a service. And the point behind that, obviously, is the e-residency program, what we are running, because this slide comes from Teleport. The world goes more and more global. It's not so anymore that you plant your company somewhere and then you hire all the talent you need around this physical location. It's not so anymore. The best engineers definitely are in Estonia. The best designers definitely are in Denmark. The best singers definitely are in Sweden. Yeah. The best climate, obviously, is in Singapore. So, yeah, the money is in US, sorry. It should be in Europe also. So it gets more and more global, and it means that as a global citizen, I can start buying services not from the country where I'm physically located, but actually I can't buy those services where I'm physically located because I'm not physically located anymore in that particular place. So I'm, more and more people becoming digital nomads. And to give you some statistics, there is around 700 million people working with information, like dealing with information, collecting, doing something with that, or programming, etc. So there are 700 million people who could actually leave their, physical location if they would like to. And that 700 million people control around $6.4 trillion every year. It's a huge amount of money. It's a huge amount, it's a huge market. And that market starts to demand new type of services and new type of products. So that's why we focus, or Estonia has started to focus on people who don't want to live in one place, who are the digital nomads, or who want to do like some freelancing or like one-man company jobs on top of their everyday life. So to give you a glimpse, we have as a resident, we have a Brazilian mathematics who developed very complicated algorithms for energy companies. So and those algorithms, he sells those algorithms in Europe and in US. And to be closer to his customers, he wanted to have a company in Europe. Okay. You have many chances. But he chose Estonia because he lives in Brazil and he wants to run his company from distance. He even flew into Estonia to open a bank account because our current law doesn't allow open a bank account over distance. You have to physically be present here. So he came in for 2 hours, opened a bank account, and flew back to Brazil. But he's a lucky customer. So we provide a better environment for him to place his company in Europe. But we would like to go even deeper. Imagine that Estonia starts collecting taxes, at least partly, on behalf of Germany. Why not? According to the OECD report, Estonia is the best tax collector in the world. I don't know what kind of mechanism we have, but they are the best. So can we do it on behalf of Germany? We could. You see, when all these e-residents, they start using Estonian ecosystem environment, they are not physically present. I mean, they are not using our roads, they are not using our healthcare system, they're not using our education system. So they just use some electricity and some applications, what we have been developing anyway for Estonians. So why should we tax them? We shouldn't tax them. But at the same time, for example, the Germans who have been using this environment, they still ride on German roads, they use German healthcare and education system. So it's obvious that they should be paying the taxes in Germany. But their business is here in Estonia. So that's the new type of thinking we want to represent and then promote, that world doesn't need another Panama or can I say Luxembourg? So the world needs more transparent and an open environment. And that's what we want to provide, that even though if your country members who physically live in your country, if they use our services and use our environment, you still should get your taxes because in physical world, they're using your infrastructure. So that's the term, that's the new point we want to bring in. And that's the thing basically where we are already capable to provide services. As you know, in Estonia, small and micro companies near future don't have to do any reporting towards tax and custom if they open their bank account to tax and custom. So that will be ready soon enough. And also, OECD countries have agreed that at least, especially in taxation area, they will start sharing this information to get rid basically all tax frauds, which is again basically a digital reform, and we have our advantage. So if something happens with me in New Zealand, and I need an embassy to help me, then most probably Finnish embassy will help me. And if there are some costs related with that help, most probably they will invoice like our foreign ministry, and so we already can say that the countries are providing services to each other. So we just want to take it like one step further. And if you think about it, like, can we have like a ship registry in Estonia? Yes, we could. It is in Panama at the moment, as you know. But we could do it better because we have all this digital signature and all that stuff. So can we collect taxes on somebody's behalf? Yes, we could. Can we do like some other government services simpler and faster if needed? Yes, we could. And the only point is that you have to be able to connect that person from distance with the government. Today we have, after a year, we have more than 10,000 e-residents, and it's growing. Every week, 150 up to 200 persons per week. It's a small number on German terms, but it's a huge number in Estonian terms because, I mean, 10,000 is already like more or less like 1% of our population. If we could have like 60,000 companies more in Estonia, it would mean we double our economy on company number-wide, obviously not in revenues. So for us, there is a clear motivation, but we don't want to be cheaters. So whenever you provide country as a service or you provide services to the citizen in another country, you have to do it in a way that you don't steal, that it's actually honest and transparent, and yeah, I think honest is a good word here. So we are growing, people-wise. Also this year, it's a huge. I mean, like our immigration is now bigger than our emigration. So our population already have started to go up again, even without the residents. But together with the residents, it goes up even faster. So watch out, Sweden. It takes just another 7 years, and we will be the 10 million country. And then we will be a meaningful like you in Europe also. So I hope more and more people become residents, but also I encourage you. We have tried out some crazy stuff during the last 3 years in Estonia, and I really encourage your governments. I mean, like there are like 34 different countries here, also to encourage you to try out something new. And be radical, because all the easy stuff is done. I mean, like, you have done all the easy stuff already like 20, 30 years ago. So if you want to have a real change, you need to bend the boundaries. So think outside the box, be radical, force your companies to declare all their deals, and if they do that, you can start predicting future like we do. Thank you.
So now you really have to ask questions, because as we work together, I have nothing that I don't know that he's going to say. So who wants to ask something from Taavi? Yes. Oh, okay. Sorry. No gift. Okay. Anyone else? No questions, really?
It's okay.
Okay, I will ask them one thing. Good stuff, right? We're doing lots of things here. What's the biggest sort of challenge in actually to get this going? I mean, so we've talked about, let's say, data-driven is not really how the government still works. What's the key obstacle?
You know the answer?
I do. The others don't.
The biggest obstacles are, like always, the ministries of no. The ministries, I mean, like in every country, you have like silos, and even if you have like great idea, you still have to get everybody's acceptance. And there are always some ministries where you get no even before you have defined the topic. So, so that's always the biggest obstacle to get everybody on board. I mean, like, we have run this e-residency program 1 year, and obviously everybody looks at me and says, where is the money, Lebowski? And if you told them back, okay, we don't even have a product ready yet, I mean, like, people have to fly in to get the bank account, that's not the proper product. So they still like, okay, the product might not be ready, but still, where is the money, Lebowski? So that's kind of spirit always, or is how to say, keeps people back from innovation because they're afraid to fail. And as the like, benefits come after the years. And that's the problem, especially with IT. I mean, like, if you take our ID card, it took 5 years to make it meaningful. X-Road, 7 years to make it meaningful. So, but 7 years means that it's not only one election cycle, it's almost 2 election cycles. So you have to have very strong political support for a very long period to make all these like radical reforms happening.
All right. As Taavi will not be staying for longer, do we get, yes, one question?
Hey, it's Paul Maltby from the Government Digital Service in the UK.
I know you.
Hey. So how do you deal with the tension of knowing all these things about all the companies and all the deals, and indeed with citizens, all the citizens' detail? At what point do you know too much, and how do you balance that, and what's the reception from industry and elsewhere about knowing all these things?
Yeah. Normally you get this kind of question from German. But yeah, obviously this information is not open data, so it's not for everybody's use. And there are very strict rules, even laws, that protect that. And that even if the data is aggregated, it still can be manipulated only by tax and custom. And so you have to be their employee, basically, to deal with that data. And they have very strict rules about that. Because we all understand if this system fails, we might face the VAT cap problem again, like, because most probably we should shut down the information system. But what we do, like what we say, not only in Estonia, but I think in all Nordic countries, is that that just like having data inside a database, and then like leaning on top of that, trying to protect that, that's not the way how the things should go. I mean, like, if you collect data, you should use it, and if it's sensitive, protect it even more, even stronger, but use it. That's the point. That's why also we have like slightly, how to say, not so tough rules even dealing with medical data or healthcare data, because it's needed. I mean, like, our average life expectancy is higher because of that. We can use the data and make better decisions.
All right. Thank you, Taavi.